Guys, chill out for a second. VR is gonna be okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. For those of you who don't know yet, Nintendo announced a fourth version of their Labo system, a cardboard do-it-yourself kit that will include virtual reality for the first time on the Nintendo Switch. While this technically won't be the first time Nintendo dabbled in virtual reality, remember the Virtual Boy? Internet commenters are already blasting Nintendo for making what they say is the worst virtual reality headset on the market, and that it's gonna be garbage, and that Nintendo is making the same mistakes all over again. Are they? I'm gonna tell you why the Nintendo Labo Virtual Reality Kit will not only be a success, but why it's important in the current landscape today in 2019. Let's dive in. So I've been involved in the VR industry since 2014, back when the Oculus DK1 and DK2 were the only affordable virtual reality head-mounted displays that you could buy to create your own applications. Fast forward to today, I've been running a VR company for 3 years now, and we've shipped our first award-winning game, Starship Commander Arcade, a VR experience that you control with your voice. I think I got a lot of authority when I speak on what's happening here from a developer side. First off, let's get the facts out of the way for the Nintendo Labo VR kit. Nintendo Labo Toy Kano 4 will ship in 2 models, the starter set plus blaster for $40. You can buy the full kit for $80, which includes 6 toy cons that you can build out of cardboard to have various VR experiences. If you aren't fully into VR when you buy the $40 kit, but then become a total convert after having a life-altering experience like most people do when they try a good VR for the first time, you can upgrade the base set with 2 expansion kits, each for $20 that'll get you to the full kit. Now, Nintendo isn't gonna punish you for buying it in pieces rather than buying the whole thing. So it's the same price if you buy the full kit or the base kit plus the 2 expansion kits. And while they are showing pictures of kids, all under 18, using various toy cons, more on that later in the video, there are no screenshots available of what these experiences will look like or even a text description of what you'll be doing. So I'm gonna let you imagine what these experiences are gonna be like as I rattle off the names of the toy cons here.
Toy-Con VR goggles, Toy-Con blaster, Toy-Con camera, Toy-Con bird, Toy-Con wind panel, Toy-Con outfit.
Plus it's got a screen holder and a safety cap, I wonder what those do. All right, with the facts out of the way, and boy, Nintendo was light on the details, we can go into speculation territory for the rest of this video. First off, my initial impression is, yes, finally, someone who has mainstream audience appeal is shipping virtual reality in a way that's affordable and to an audience that's gonna be receptive to this new technology. Remember those kids that they showed in the pictures? Remember the press release? Oh, you didn't read the press release? Don't worry, I got it for you. Nintendo Labo is for kids and those who are kids at heart. Let's do that again. It's for kids and those who are kids at heart. Nintendo is marketing this towards families and tinkerers who want their kids to grow up to be engineers and software developers. If you're somehow buying this VR kit, or any Nintendo Labo kit for that matter, as some sort of serious 50+ hour game with gun skins, full online modes, and crafting options, I'm gonna tell you to apply the brakes right there. This is meant to be a toy, meant to get kids ready for the future VR offerings that they will ship. More on that later in the video. In fact, if you look at the VR headset on the Nintendo Switch screen, you'll see that the IPD, or interpupillary distance, on this device is fixed. And not only is it fixed, but I can actually calculate the minimum IPD possible from the pictures that they've shown. Now my calculations say that it'll be somewhere between 48 and 50 millimeters, which is 10 millimeters shorter than what's possible on the Rift and Vive. What does this mean? Well, Oculus tells you that the Rift is only designed for users who are 13 years and older. Nintendo has stated that kids as young as 6 years and older, with parent supervision, can play the previous Nintendo Labo offerings, and I don't see them changing that anytime soon. I can say with high confidence that this is going to be a VR experience aimed at children. Now, I've seen some commenters online proclaim that this will be another cheap VR solution that makes people sick and scares them off from real VR, and it's not going to be helpful for the industry as a whole, further delaying mass adoption of VR. Boy, that's a really loaded statement, so let's break it down. VR sickness, or simulator sickness as it's called in the industry, occurs when you have a mismatch between your inner vestibular ear and what your eyes are seeing. If there's a mismatch, your body has actually evolved over the years to think that this is a form of poisoning, danger, and a natural hormone will be secreted into your stomach, which causes nausea. Enough nausea and you throw up. While not the most pleasant feeling, it has saved countless humans over the years who may have eaten something that looked tasty, but was actually poisonous. The same thing can happen in virtual reality if the developer puts you into an experience that moves you around in a way that excites your visual system, but your inner vestibular ear says, nope, not moving here, nope, nothing's happening. The solution to this? Don't move the player around. In fact, I bet you're gonna find warning messages all over these Nintendo experiences that tell you to only use them for short amount of times, like under 10 minutes, and to do them only in a seated experience where it's not possible for you to walk around or move unnaturally. Now remember, high-end VR experiences like the ones you see in PC and arcades, they can track your movement using external cameras and sensors, and that's never gonna make you sick as long as you're moving your own body and that external tracking is actually working properly. So say in a Rift or Vive, you walk around a small room, you're using your own body to actually move. There's no mismatch between your visual system and your inner vestibular ear, so boom, no sickness. But Nintendo Labo VR Kit will have very limited ways of tracking your outside motion. I anticipate that they will have no positional tracking and require you to be seated for all VR experiences. Even some great mobile VR experiences are like this today, and users don't report getting nauseous in them. But that's not the only reason to be worried about the quality of the experience. You see, modern VR headsets typically use OLED or some sort of fast refresh display that can turn off and on very rapidly. The reason for this is that it combats a visual phenomenon called persistence of vision. The basic gist is that as pixels get lit up on the display, there will be ghosting around moving objects. The way around it? OLEDs have near perfect pixel response times, and some high-end LCDs like the ones used in the Oculus Go have special timed backlights that can turn on and off in rapid succession. It remains to be seen if this type of refresh is possible on the Nintendo Switch, but hackers have found a hidden VR mode in the console, so it is possible Nintendo thought about this before shipping off the Switch hardware. But you know, I'm waiting for the Nintendo Labo kit that lets you upgrade your Switch with a high refresh OLED panel made out of cardboard. Oh wait, that doesn't exist? Damn. I could go into the screen resolution and estimate the pixels per arc degree, but I think we can all safely assume that a 1280 by 720 pixel screen will have the worst screen door effect of all VR headsets. But instead of bogging you down with the math and explaining to you that it's gonna be low resolution and how it's gonna look like that, in the end, that is not going to matter. Remember, this isn't trying to compete with the HTC Vive or Oculus Rift connected to a PC. It's attempting to be an affordable entry into VR aimed at children who have never experienced any kind of VR at all. This is gonna blow your mind if this is your first VR experience. Don't believe me? I remember having my mind blown when I tried the DK1 at first in 2013. It had all the same issues that the Nintendo Labo VR kit will have. No IPD adjustments, no positional tracking, extremely low refresh rates, and no real controllers. But we all still had our minds blown when we experienced that for the first time, and it sparked a generation of us software developers to quit our AAA game jobs to make VR software. At the end of the day, Labo VR is actually good for the whole VR ecosystem because this is Nintendo we're talking about making a premium VR add-on for their Nintendo Switch, a game system with over 32 million units sold that will introduce a baseline VR experience that won't suck. Anybody remember those terrible $10 cardboard holders for your phone that were sold in Walmart? And they called that VR? Man, that was terrible. That left a lot of people nauseous, and it had a lack of software to play. But think of this. Could Nintendo be taking their first dip into becoming a large VR powerhouse? Nintendo has always tried to differentiate their consoles from other experiences, and think about the future where they ship a Nintendo Switch 2 with higher screen resolution, positional tracking, and a more adjustable IPD with the backing of Nintendo's amazing software development studios could be a recipe for mainstream gaming VR. They'll have a huge audience from this generation who will have experienced it and want more. And they'll have an eager audience to sell it to because, let's be frank, Nintendo fans will buy Nintendo systems regardless about what anybody says about them. Hey, yo, you want to get the new Zelda and Mario player? Yeah, sure, what's it cost? $200-300, okay. But I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Nintendo Labo VR Kit will be good enough to convince people to jump into VR as it becomes more affordable? Or will it just remain what it is today, a toy and nothing more? I'm Alexander Mejia, and if you like what I had to say in the Nintendo Labo Kit, you can see a video of us building the Toy-Con robot, or you can subscribe to be notified of our weekly streams every Friday. We also are the makers of Starship Commander Arcade, a cinematic choose-your-own-adventure experience driven by your voice and AI. Take a look at the link in the description to find a VR arcade near you to experience it today.